Hello everyone and welcome back to The Sleepy Mind. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Also, don't forget to tell me where you're from and what time it is there. Now, let's begin. The soft march of time. You lie still, but time flows around you, unseen and unstoppable. Like wind through grass, it moves without asking. What is it you're floating through, second by second? And why does it only go one way? A journey begins into the invisible current that cradles your life. Your body is still. The world is quiet now. The air around you barely stirs. And yet, without sound or shape, something is moving. Not through the room, but through you, through everything. A soft, invisible motion. Not wind, not breath, time. It slips over your skin like a shadow made of silk. You cannot see it, but you feel it. In your chest, in the rhythm of your thoughts, in the slow fading of today. It has always been here. Since before your first memory, since before memory itself was possible. Time moves forward, always forward, with a patience so vast, it forgets to hurry. No matter how you try, you cannot hold it. You cannot slow it. It will not pause for joy. It will not stop for grief. And yet, it shapes everything you know. Look around you. The lines on your hands, the dust on your shelves, the half-wilted flowers in a vase. They are all quiet clocks. You are one too. Time is not loud. It doesn't knock or shout. But every second that passes is a soft footstep, padding gently across the floor of your life. Even in silence, time speaks. It speaks in the stretch of shadows across your wall, in the fading chill of tea left untouched, in the warmth that leaves your blanket slowly through the night. What is this thing we live inside of? Some call it a river, flowing from the past toward the future, never circling back. But a river is made of water. Time is made of what exactly? Not air, not matter, not energy. And yet, it's more certain than all of those. You can't touch it, but it touches you. It shapes every story, every heartbeat, every goodbye. Imagine you're lying beneath stars, somewhere far from clocks or calendars. Even there, you know time. You feel it in your own breath, in the pace of thoughts rising and falling, in the way the night deepens, second by second, until the world becomes dark enough for sleep. Time feels simple. One moment, then another. But behind that simplicity lies one of the greatest mysteries in all of science. Physicists can measure it down to billionths of a second, but they still don't fully understand what it is. Is it a force, a dimension, a human invention? Or is time the very fabric that lets the universe exist at all? Some say time began with the Big Bang. Before that, there was no before. No ticking, no motion, not even the potential for change. Time was born in an instant, and with it, everything that could ever happen. That's the odd thing about time. It's not just movement. It's the reason change is possible at all. Without time, no stars could form, no planets could drift, no story could unfold. You would never grow, you would never sleep, you would never wake. But here you are, alive in the stream, floating through it, feeling every second pass, even when you're trying not to. There's a rhythm to time that your body knows, even if your mind forgets. You feel it in hunger, in drowsiness, in longing. It is the steady march behind the ticking of a clock, but also behind the ache of memory. Even when all is still, you are aging. Even when you stop to rest, time does not. Some say time heals all things. Others say it just hides them behind distance. But time is not a doctor. It is not cruel. It is just there, steady, indifferent, constant. And yet, you give it meaning. You celebrate years. You mourn moments. You mark the passage of time not by numbers, but by feelings. Right now, as you lie here, time continues, soft and unbothered. You breathe in, time moves. You breathe out, time moves. You do not have to chase it. It carries you. The river of time does not ask for effort. It does not require understanding. You may close your eyes, and it will keep flowing, gently pulling you toward tomorrow. No sound, no light, just the sense that something always changes. That is the quiet grace of time. And just as you begin to drift, your thoughts turn gently toward your own internal rhythm. The clocks beneath your skin. Inside your chest, another clock is ticking, but not like the one on your wall. This one breathes, it pulses, it waits. Perhaps the body keeps time in its own quiet language, and perhaps, if you listen closely, you can hear it now. Clocks beneath the skin, even your cells know time. Inside you, tiny gears turn, measuring, responding, adapting. From sleep rhythms to heartbeat pulses, your body is full of clocks, but none of them tick the same way. How does time live inside a living being? You lie still. The room holds its hush, but deep inside you, time continues, not just around you, but within. Your body keeps time too. There is a pulse in your wrist, a silent metronome behind your ribs, a rhythm in your breath, rising, falling, like the tides. These are the clocks beneath the skin. They do not tick with gears or hands. They are made of light, chemicals, impulses, and ancient memory, and they are always counting. Even before you were born, your body was learning the rhythm of time. In the womb, light seeped through, soft and distant, and your cells began to listen. They learned when to sleep, when to wake, when to grow. Even then, time whispered its schedule into your blood. Today, it still does. Every 24 hours, your body completes a journey it cannot escape, a cycle called the circadian rhythm. It's your internal day. It tells your eyes when to blink slowly. It tells your stomach when to feel hunger. It tells your mind when to dream. This clock isn't just in your brain. It's in every cell, from your skin to your heart, your liver to your lung. Thousands of tiny timekeepers, each ticking to the same song, but sometimes slightly out of sync. There is no conductor, no central ticking sound. Instead, your brain sends pulses of light and darkness to your body, a silent language written in hormones, body temperature, and patterns of sleep. When you wake with the sunrise, the body nods. When you lie under blue light, long into the night, the body becomes confused. Even without a watch, your body knows when the sun sets. It remembers. Consider your heart. It beats with exquisite precision. Each thump follows another in perfect order. A wave, not a machine. It is not just a pump. It is a rhythm keeper. Even your heartbeat responds to emotion, breath, silence. Slow down your breath, and you slow time's feel inside you. You cannot stop time, but you can soften its pace. Your skin, too, obeys clocks. It repairs itself at night. It sheds and renews in cycles. Even your hair knows time, growing with slow insistence, pausing, falling, renewing. And your blood follows patterns of flow, pulses that rise with light and slow with shadow. You are not a single timekeeper. You are a symphony of many clocks, ticking as one, drifting apart, reuniting. And just as clocks drift, so do feelings. Some days feel endless. Some slip through your fingers before you can hold them. But time, in your body, is not about hours. It is about cycles. Your body sleeps not because the world is dark, but because it knows it must. Your brain produces melatonin, the chemical dusk inside you. This isn't just sleepiness, it's the body whispering, now, it is time to turn inward. It tells your muscles to rest, your heart to ease, your thoughts to slow. You don't notice it, but every time you close your eyes, your body is obeying ancient clocks. Clocks older than civilization. Clocks that began in the first creatures who ever felt the sun rise. And what happens when your body's clocks fall out of rhythm? You feel it. Jet lag, restlessness, sleepless nights. Like a choir that forgot the key. The beat is off and everything feels harder. Even your memories begin to blur. Because memory too lives inside time. Your brain stores experiences in waves, shaped by the hours they occurred, the light that surrounded them, the state your body was in. Time marks not just the when, but the how deeply you felt something. That's why some nights stay vivid forever, and others fade like smoke. Sometimes, when you lie awake, it feels like time has slowed to a crawl, but it hasn't. It is simply your awareness of it that stretches. The way a song feels longer when you listen to every note. In those moments, you are closer to your body's true clocks. Not the ones that blink on your wall, but the ones that flow in blood, light, and breath. You are time's home. It does not live outside you. It lives inside your cells, in silence. And as you rest now, your body continues. It begins to cool. Your heart slows. Your breath deepens. And still, time flows inside you, not like a river, but like a tide. Returning, receding, returning. You do not have to guide it. Your body remembers the rhythm. And somewhere, deep inside, the clocks beneath your skin begin to sing softly, the quiet lullaby of sleep. But what happens when time itself doesn't tick evenly? When it bends, stretches, slows, not in the body, but in space itself, in the pull of massive things, where even seconds forget their pace. Gravity's gentle distortion. In deep space, near enormous masses, time begins to stretch. It doesn't break, but it forgets its rhythm. Gravity, it turns out, doesn't just hold things, it slows them. Even time is heavy near a star. Even light loses patience near a black hole. Time, you've always believed, is constant. 1 second here, 1 second there, always the same. But the universe is softer, stranger than that. Time is not a metronome. It is not rigid. It flows. And where it flows is shaped by something else. Gravity. You lie still, and above you, unseen, the sky curves. Not like a bowl, not like a dome, but like fabric being pulled by invisible hands. And time is stitched to that fabric. Wherever gravity pulls space, it pulls time too. Imagine a soft sheet spread across a table. Place your hand in the center and press down. The sheet dips. Now roll a marble across it. The marble curves around your hand, caught in the well you made. This is what planets feel near stars, what moons feel near planets, what time feels near gravity. It bends. On Earth, the bending is gentle. You don't feel it, but it's there. Clocks on mountains tick ever so slightly faster than clocks in valleys. Clocks on airplanes beat quicker than those on the ground. The difference is so tiny, so subtle, it took humans centuries to notice. But we did. With satellites, with lasers, with equations etched in chalk. And then we looked to space, and we saw that the deeper you go into gravity, the slower time runs. Picture a black hole, a collapsed star, so dense that not even light can escape. Its gravity is unimaginable. But here's the secret. It doesn't just swallow matter, it swallows time. From far away, you see a clock falling toward it. Tick, tick, tick. And then it slows. The closer it gets, the longer each second becomes. until the last tick never comes. From your view, the clock freezes, trapped forever at the edge. But for the clock, time still flows. It just flows differently. This is not science fiction. It is reality, proven by math, confirmed by stars. So, what is time, really, if it can stretch like this? What kind of thing is this that flows slower in deep wells of gravity? It is not just a line. It is not just a rhythm. It is a part of the universe's shape, a fabric that warps when pressed, and everything with mass, stars, planets, you, presses down. You are not floating through time. You are shaping it. Even your presence curves the smallest thread. On Earth, it's a tiny shift. You age a billionth of a second faster at your head than at your feet. Your watch ticks differently if you leave it on a hill. And yet, this matters. Your phone, your GPS, they must adjust for time dilation or you'd get lost. Machines correct for Einstein's equations every moment without you knowing. The universe bends, and our lives depend on understanding the bend. Time is not the same everywhere, and that makes it even more beautiful. So now you know. Gravity, the great holder of stars, is also the great sculptor of time. It can slow moments. It can delay light. It can trap entire futures behind invisible walls. But still, you lie here, light and safe, feeling only the softest stretch of its hand. You are far from black holes, but you are still inside a gravity well. Time, here, moves steadily, but not uniformly. Every second has weight, and that weight, it changes how you remember. Moments spent in fear feel longer. Moments in joy feel light and fast. Perhaps your body senses gravity and emotion. Perhaps memory is shaped by time's gentle distortions, even in the mind. The science says time slows in fields of mass, but your experience says time slows when you need it most. In awe, in grief, in longing, in love. Maybe you are your own black hole. Maybe you carry a little well of gravity inside your chest. Maybe your heaviest thoughts stretch time in quiet ways you don't yet understand. And now, as your mind begins to float, you imagine yourself drifting past a distant star. Its mass is enormous. Its pull is gentle but sure. You move slowly. You feel stretched like light through a prism. Time begins to bend around you. And then, something shifts. You feel stillness. Not motion, not speed, but stillness made of motion. And in that quiet warp of space-time, you begin to wonder something else. If time can stretch, can it also turn? Can it loop, or break, or fold? Or must it always point in just one direction, forward? And why, if physics allows, do we never go back? The arrow that never bends time moves forward, always forward, like a river that never turns around. But physics doesn't forbid going backward. So why don't we? What gives time its direction, its flow, its arrow? The answer may lie in something as quiet as a melting ice cube. You float in the dark, still, quiet. The rhythm of your breath, a soft metronome. And again, you ask the question, why does time only flow forward? Why do we remember the past, but never the future? Why do we wait and not unwait? Age and not unage? Is the arrow of time something real, or just something we've learned to believe in? You begin with a thought experiment. Picture a teacup. It sits on a table. Quiet. Whole. Now picture it falling. It hits the floor. Shatters. Ceramic shards scattered like frozen sound. This is time moving forward. But why does it feel forward? Physics, the deep math of motion, says this. If you reversed every atom's path, the math still works. The cup could unshatter. The glass could rise. But in real life, it never does, because something is missing from the equations. something invisible but powerful. Entropy. Entropy is a soft word with a strong hand. It is the measure of disorder, of randomness, of possibility. A shattered cup has more ways to exist than a perfect one. A melted ice cube has more possible states than a frozen block. A burned log has more freedom than a neat piece of wood. Entropy rises with time, always. It is the only true clock in the universe that never ticks backward. You feel it even now. Your room was once quiet, still, untouched. Over hours, the warmth of your breath, the shuffle of air, the slow fading of scent, all increase disorder. The heat from your body spreads into the room. Entropy rises. You spill cream into coffee. It swirls. It clouds, but never separates itself again. This is the arrow of time. It isn't in the stars. It's in the mix. Entropy gives time its direction. Forward isn't a force. It's a pattern. It's how sand falls in an hourglass. How eggs don't uncrack. How memories stack behind you like quiet footsteps, and never ahead. The universe moves from order to disorder, from neat beginnings to scattered endings. And the beauty is, this isn't sad. It's life. Your body runs on entropy. You eat food, a packet of neat energy. Your cells break it down. Use it. Leave behind heat, carbon, motion, and memory. Your thoughts mix. Your sleep deepens. Your dreams unfurl into swirls you can't untangle by morning. You live forward, because entropy whispers that way. But entropy doesn't forbid backward movement. It just makes it unlikely. You could toss a deck of cards 1,000 times, and they'll never land back in perfect order. Not because they can't, because there are billions more ways not to be perfect. The universe likes variety, and variety increases with time. That is the arrow. Even black holes obey it. When they swallow matter, they erase details. The neat history of a star becomes heat, spin, radiation. All messy, all higher entropy. The universe may loop one day, collapse, reverse, start again. But even then, entropy will have had its say. And yet, inside your mind, time has its own error. Memories grow behind you like footprints in soft sand. The future remains blank, not because it doesn't exist, but because you haven't yet etched it. Your brain is wired to remember what was, not what could be. It's a survival trick, and a poetic one. It's why you dream of childhood, but never of being unborn. There is comfort in this arrow, knowing that each moment carries you forward, that sleep leads to morning, that time's current will never run in reverse. It gives shape to life. A song needs order, a beginning, a middle, an end. So does time. So do you. And now, in the deep hush of night, you realize something. Even if time could run backward, would you want it to? To unspeak your words? To unmeet your memories? To unfeel your joys? Forward is where growth lives. Forward is where the unknown blooms. And even as you rest, that arrow carries you gently toward morning. But if time moves forward, then where do memories live? How do atoms, molecules, matter remember what has been? Is the past truly gone, or just sleeping somewhere inside the world? The memory of matter. Every atom holds echoes of what it once was. Your bones remember starlight. Stones remember pressure. Trees remember the turning of the sky. Time may pass, but the world doesn't forget. Matter remembers everything. The world does not speak in words, but it remembers. It remembers with shape, with texture, with quiet pressure, gently folded across eons. Time passes, but matter keeps its scars, its patterns, its whispers. You lie still now, half between waking and sleep. But beneath you, in the floor, the bed, the earth, are atoms older than memory. They don't think, they don't feel, but they remember. Not like a diary, like a fingerprint. A river stone is smooth, not by nature, but by history. Millions of touches from water and sand have worn it gentle. Each edge once sharp, now soft. Not erased, just remembered in a different way. The stone doesn't recall the first wave, but it carries the echo of all of them. You hold it in your hand. You are holding time. And your body, your bones, your blood, your breath, they too are made from memory. The calcium in your spine was forged in a supernova. The iron in your blood is stardust, once crushed under unimaginable gravity. Atoms do not forget where they've been. They simply become part of what is now. That is memory. Not backwards looking, but woven in. When you look in a mirror, you see change. Lines, light, texture, all altered by time. But inside, deeper, you are made of constellations of experience. Your body stores every moment it touches. A scar, a freckle, the shape your spine takes after years of leaning toward a screen. Your muscles remember how to walk. Your fingers remember how to type, even when your thoughts are quiet. The past isn't gone. It's stitched into you. A tree grows in circles. Every year, another ring. Dark in winter, wide in spring, thick in sun, thin in drought. Cut the tree and you can read its life, not just how tall it became, but what it endured. Droughts, floods, lightning, lullabies of wind. Trees do not write memoirs, but they never forget. Even the sky has memory. The cosmic microwave background, a glow stretched across the universe, is the afterglow of the Big Bang itself. 13 billion years old, still glowing, still whispering. Light remembers the roads it travels. When you look at a star, you're seeing it as it was, not as it is. Some stars you see no longer exist, but their light remembers, and it reaches you. That is what memory truly is. Light still arriving. In deep rocks, we find fossils, the outline of a leaf, the curl of a shell, the echo of a footstep pressed into mud, hardened into stone. These are Earth's memories, the ones that didn't blow away. Some of them come from creatures that never knew names, but still, their stories remain, locked in layers, curled in minerals. Earth keeps them patiently. It has time, and water. Oh, water remembers too. Waves return in cycles. The ocean holds heat from sunlight, long gone. Ice sheets lock away air from ages past, tiny bubbles filled with ancient breath. Scientists drill into glaciers and pull up cylinders of memory. Inside them, pollen, ash, air, a breath from 1,000 years ago, waiting to be released. Even cold remembers warmth. Even silence remembers sound. You too are made of these quiet archives. Your memories are not just thoughts. They are chemical trails, neural connections, patterns strengthened by repetition, emotion, attention. A song you loved as a child still lights up the same places in your brain, even decades later. The smell of rain can pull you back in time, not because the moment returns, but because your mind never let it go. Time passes, but it doesn't take everything with it. And so you lie here now, surrounded by a world thick with memory. Your blanket, your breath, the shape of your pillow, molded by nights before. Nothing around you is truly new. Everything has been touched, softened, formed. Time has passed, but time has left its fingerprints. The world is not clean. It is full of story, and that is a comfort. Because if matter remembers, then you are never truly lost. You are written somewhere, in the particles of your voice, in the photons you've reflected, in the skin cells you've left behind. The past is not erased. It is simply spread out, waiting to be felt. But memory is not always still. Some seconds feel longer than others. Some moments stretch like warm honey, while others vanish like a blink. Why does time feel different from how it ticks? Moments that stretch time on the clock is steady, but time in your mind is not. Some moments feel slow, rich, deep. Others vanish before you notice. What stretches time inside you? And how do emotions, attention, and memory bend the shape of now? Close your eyes. Listen for a moment. You can hear it, can't you? Time. Not ticking, but flowing. Not measured by clocks, but by feeling. Because time, inside you, stretches. It tightens. It loops. It flies. It slows. And always, it feels different than it is. Why does 1 hour in a waiting room feel like an eternity, while a whole day with someone you love slips by in what feels like minutes? Why does the first breath of fear feel frozen, but the last hour of a calm evening dissolve like steam? The answer isn't just in your head, it's in how your mind holds time. Because your brain doesn't count seconds, it counts moments. It tracks meaning, not math. You see, your brain is like a spotlight. Where you shine your attention, the world becomes brighter, longer, more vivid. If you focus intensely, in awe, in danger, in love, you absorb more details, more sights, more feelings, and the more details you collect, the longer the memory feels. It's not that time slowed, it's that you notice more of it. Moments that stretch are moments you truly felt. Think back to your childhood, those long, dreamy afternoons, the summers that felt endless, the slow motion of waiting for birthdays, holidays, growing up. Children live close to the present. Their brains are still mapping the world. Everything is new. So every second is full of attention, full of stretch. But as we age, we compress time. We know the path. We skim the details. We move through familiar routines on autopilot, and time begins to speed up. Not because it is faster, but because we're not gathering the moments. We're passing through. But certain moments stretch again. A deep breath before speaking, the quiet before a kiss, the instant before something breaks. Why? Because your brain is paying full attention. Fear can stretch time. So can awe. So can joy. And the strangest thing, in emergencies, people often report that time slowed down. They didn't grow new seconds. They gathered more information. Their mind lit up, took in more of the world. And when you replay the memory, it feels like it lasted longer. That's not illusion. That's awareness. Time in your body is different too. When your heart races, time can feel fast. When your breathing slows, when your limbs grow heavy, when your muscles soften, time stretches like dusk. Sleepy, liquid, endless. That's why meditation changes your sense of time. It doesn't stop the clock. It slows your perception. The brain's default mode quiets. You aren't jumping from thought to thought, and the space between moments opens wider. That space is where rest begins. Have you ever felt time dissolve? Late at night, watching rain, eyes unfocused, mind quiet. You look at the clock, and it's been 2 hours? That's not time lost. That's time untethered. In deep relaxation, time stops marching. It begins to float. It loses its corners, its structure. It becomes experience, not number. And that's when your mind is most at ease. But there's another kind of time stretching, the kind you don't choose. Waiting, grief, boredom, loneliness. When you're disconnected from meaning, seconds crawl. You check the time, again and again. It hasn't moved. That's not because the clock is wrong. It's because your mind is pacing in a room with nothing on the walls. Without attention or emotion, time becomes weight, a silence with no shape. But you can soften even that by grounding in the senses. touch, sound, smell, sight, letting your body guide your awareness, not the clock. Even the simplest details, the way light pools on a table, the rhythm of your own breath, can stretch a moment into something meaningful. And once it holds meaning, it becomes memory. Once it becomes memory, it grows. Time stretches not only in your brain, but in your story. We live not by calendars, but by moments we remember. You don't measure a year by how many days it had. You measure it by how deeply you lived inside it. And often, the slowest moments are the ones that stayed. Not the achievements, not the speed, but the stillness, the softness, the presence. That is what time becomes when it stretches. It becomes you. So now, as you drift at the edge of sleep, you don't need to chase time. You don't need to hold it. You are already inside it, and it inside you. Let this moment stretch. Let your breath be a slow metronome. Let the quiet fill the space, and let time become soft, melted, like honey on warm skin. But even as you stretch here, what of time elsewhere? Far across space, in the void, among galaxies. Does time still flow as it does for you? Or is time, like gravity and light, shaped by where you are? Does time flow everywhere? Time feels personal, but it isn't private. It stretches across stars, across galaxies, but not always the same. A second on Earth is not a second in deep space. So where is now, really? And can two places ever share the same moment? You lie still, but your mind lifts gently, as if gravity loosens with each breath. Above you, far above, the stars do their quiet work. They burn, they orbit, they collapse. And somewhere out there, time is flowing, but not like here, because time changes with place. It's easy to imagine time as universal, that now means the same on Earth as on Jupiter, as on some distant exoplanet 10 light years away. But the universe does not run on human clocks. It runs on gravity and motion and relativity, which means, astonishingly, time flows differently depending on where and how you are. On Earth, time is familiar. We measure it in heartbeats, in footsteps, in shadows across the wall. But high in orbit, satellites move fast, and their clocks tick differently. They are farther from Earth's mass, so they feel less gravity. And because gravity bends time, their seconds move faster. Engineers must constantly correct this. Even a tiny mismatch would confuse your phone's GPS. Without Einstein's equations, your location would drift by kilometers. Time, up there, is not the same as time, down here. Now, imagine a spaceship moving near the speed of light. For the person inside, time feels normal. They eat, sleep, read, dream, 1 second per second. But outside, time stretches. To someone watching, the astronaut moves in slow motion. Each blink, each breath, delayed. And if the traveler returns after a long flight, they may have aged only a year, while their loved ones on Earth have aged 10. This isn't fiction, it's time dilation, and it's real. So, where is now? If two people disagree on how time is passing, can they even agree on what moment it is? This is one of the strangest truths in physics. The universe does not have a single present. There is no master clock, no universal now. Each point in space carries its own thread of time, and those threads twist, together, apart, sometimes almost parallel, but never quite the same. You can imagine the universe as a great cosmic fabric, not flat, but rippling, a blanket tossed in slow motion. Every wrinkle, every wave, bends both space and time. This bending is called space-time, and everything, stars, planets, you, move across it like beads on a quilt. But because the fabric is curved, Each path is different, each moment unique. You and a distant star might be looking at each other, but the time flowing around you is not identical. Even in the same universe, you live in different nows. Does this make time less real, or does it make your time more precious? Because even though the stars above you age differently, your moment is still complete. Here, full, whole. Time doesn't need to be the same to be true, and still, we search for ways to find synchrony. Atomic clocks, the most precise devices humans have ever built, are scattered across Earth, in labs buried underground and on mountain tops. They beat with the pulse of atoms, each tick unimaginably steady, but even these must be corrected for altitude, speed, temperature, rotation, because time, like water, takes the shape of where it flows. Perfect precision requires deep understanding, not just of time itself, but of space, of mass, of motion. Now, look farther, to the edges of the observable universe. Some galaxies are moving away from us so fast, their light will never reach us. From our perspective, they vanish into darkness, not because they are gone, but because their time and ours have stretched too far apart. We will never share a now with them again. The universe is expanding, and with it, the fabric of time stretches. Moments we could once reach are drifting beyond grasp. But here's a gentle truth. You don't need the whole cosmos to agree with you. You only need this moment, this breath, this stillness, this quiet unfolding of seconds inside your skin. Your now may not match a star's, but it is still yours. And for those you love, those close enough to touch, to hear, to share time with, you do share a now, a soft bubble of synchronized moments carried gently through space-time together. So yes, time flows differently in distant places, but you are not in distant places. You are here, in a room where gravity is steady, where seconds pass with soft regularity, and that constancy is a kind of music, the kind that lets your body rest, the kind that carries dreams without rushing. Your personal clock is enough, because the universe is vast, but sleep begins exactly where you are, still, even here, even now. Time doesn't always feel steady. Your body knows time, but your mind tells a different story. So what kind of clock lives inside your thoughts? The clock inside your mind. Beneath your thoughts, your brain keeps time, not with numbers, but with rhythm. From your heartbeat to your sense of now, you live inside a biological clock. But it's not just one clock. Your brain runs many, and they don't always agree. Inside your skull, beneath layers of thought and dream, time is ticking, but not like a machine, not like a watch. Your brain keeps time the way a forest keeps rain, in pulses, in rhythms, in deep, living patterns. You're not just in time, you are made of it. Every breath, every blink, every step, timed. Not consciously, but by systems older than language. Your heartbeat pulses with a rhythm all its own. It speeds up when you run. It slows when you sleep. Each beat is a soft second, echoing through your chest. But there's another rhythm too. Your brain waves, tiny pulses of electrical flow, rippling through neurons like silent surf. When you're alert, quick, darting waves. When you're dreaming, slow, deep tides. These waves don't just reflect time, they help shape it. And deep in the center of your brain, tucked behind your eyes, is something called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. Small, but powerful. This is your body's master clock. It listens to light, to darkness, to the changing sky, and in return, it sends out timing signals to nearly every cell in your body. Hormones, temperature, digestion, mood. Each follows this rhythm. the circadian cycle, a gentle 24-hour dance that rises and falls inside you. When morning light enters your eyes, the clock shifts. It tells your body, wake, warm, begin again. At night, the absence of light sends another signal. Cool, quiet, rest. This is why staring at bright screens late at night confuses your clock. Your body thinks it's still day, still go time, and the rhythm stumbles. Sleep becomes harder, because time, inside you, is tuned to light. But there are other clocks too, tiny ones, inside your organs, your gut, your muscles. Each cell has its own timing proteins, little gears turning in silence. And though they follow the master clock, sometimes they drift. Jet lag is not just tiredness, it's a choir out of sync. Your brain says, morning. Your liver says, midnight. Your hunger, your alertness, your emotions, each pulled in different directions. Time becomes scattered inside you, and healing comes only when the rhythms return. Even your perception of time lives in the brain. When you listen to music, you sense tempo, pause, beat. When you speak, you pace your words. When you walk, you stride to rhythm. Your brain counts milliseconds without effort. It guesses duration, anticipates motion, times touch. All of this happens below awareness, but it shapes your world. Without timing, you would spill words like marbles on a floor. You would miss the turn in a conversation. You would walk into walls. Time is what makes experience smooth, but it isn't always smooth. Stress can speed time up or slow it down. When anxious, your brain releases cortisol, which changes how you process duration. A minute feels longer or shorter. Joy can make hours disappear. Pain can make seconds stretch into fields of discomfort. Your clock is not fixed, it is emotional, and that's what makes it human. Even memory is tied to time. Your brain tags each memory with when, but not with a clock, with context. You remember a moment because of how it felt in time. Early morning chill, late afternoon gold. Time becomes texture. That's why some memories float free of sequence. They live by rhythm, not date. They are songs, not spreadsheets. And like music, they return when the mood is right. There is no single tick in your brain. Instead, there are layers of time, milliseconds, reaction and sound. Seconds, thought and movement. Minutes, mood and breath. Hours, energy and need. Days, sleep and waking. Months, emotion and memory. Years, identity. You live in all of them at once, a constellation of clocks, blinking gently within you. And as you rest now, your inner clocks begin to align. Your breath slows. Your thoughts grow misty. Your body releases melatonin, the sleep hormone, soft as stardust. You are moving into the time of stillness, the time of dreams. This, too, is real time. Not the kind you measure, but the kind you live. So when you ask, what is time? Part of the answer is this. Time is you. Your rhythms, your changes, your story told in pulses, and the quiet between those pulses is where peace lives. But what happens when that rhythm is lost? When the clocks inside us falter or fracture? What does it mean when time breaks? When time breaks, most days, time flows in rhythm, but sometimes it cracks. In grief, trauma, illness, or deep shock, memories blur, seconds drag, whole hours vanish. What happens in the mind and body when time breaks? And can it be pieced back together? Time is supposed to flow, like a river, like breath, like a lullaby that never misses its note. But sometimes, it doesn't. Sometimes, it stutters. Sometimes, it falls apart. You may have felt it. The strange weight of shock, the long blur of sadness, the hollow drift after loss. In those moments, time becomes a stranger. It no longer moves in minutes or hours. It moves in feelings, in silence, in fragments. Trauma can do this. When something painful strikes, unexpected, heavy, too much, your mind shifts, your body tightens, your thoughts blur, and time either speeds up so fast you miss it, or slows until every second becomes a frozen lake. You may not remember how long it lasted, or even what happened in between. That's not weakness, that's survival. In the brain, trauma alters time perception. The amygdala, your fear center, activates like an alarm bell. It floods the system. Your senses sharpen. You gather every detail you can, but the hippocampus, the part that organizes memory, begins to falter. You're absorbing, but not filing, experiencing, but not recording. So when the moment passes, you're left with pieces, sharp, vivid, disjointed, like memory without time. Grief breaks time too, not in a loud way, but in a quiet unraveling. Days lose their shape. Mornings and evenings feel the same. You forget what day it is, or if it matters. Time used to have flavor. Now it feels gray, flat. This is the mind protecting itself. It slows the rhythm, softens the edges, wraps you in a kind of numbness. Not because you're broken, but because you're healing. In depression, time can become thick, like wading through syrup. Motivation disappears. Moments feel like echoes. Each day mirrors the one before. Your brain's energy centers dim. The inner clock's slow. Even pleasure feels far away, like light through heavy fog. And that's when even a single hour can feel like a mountain. Not because time changed, but because your perception did. There's another kind of time break too. Neurological. In conditions like Alzheimer's or dementia, time becomes a shifting landscape. Past and present mix. Memories fold inward. A person may speak of events from 40 years ago as if they happened this morning. They're not pretending. Their inner map has changed. Time is no longer a straight line. It's a circle, or a spiral, or a cloud. Their now may not match yours, but it is real, for them. Even dreams break time. You sleep for 10 minutes, and dream a story that spans decades. Your brain builds time out of feeling, not physics. In dreams, seconds stretch, years collapse. You visit your childhood, you speak with the future, and when you wake, you're back in real time. But your inner world still carries the rhythm of that other place. This is how you know that time is not just outside you, it's inside. And yet, even when time breaks, there are ways it begins to mend. Through touch, through light, through rhythm, a familiar song, a steady voice, a single breath repeated until it slows your heart. These become anchored. Your mind begins to trust time again, to hear its rhythm, to soften into the present. Healing doesn't mean erasing the break. It means learning to carry it, like a cracked bowl repaired with gold. The shape is new, but beautiful, stronger in some ways. Time, when it breaks, shows us something deep, that we are not machines, that we are not clocks. We are waves, living rhythms, and we can begin again. So if you've ever felt lost in time, if your memories don't line up, if the hours feel either too long or missing altogether, know this: you are not alone. Your mind is protecting you. Your clocks are finding each other again. You are not broken. You are unfolding. And tonight, as you lie here, your breath slow, your body soft, your eyes heavy, let time be gentle again. Let it ripple like moonlight on still water. Let it return, not in force, but in kindness. Because time doesn't always need to march. Sometimes it just needs to hold you. And yet, one question drifts in like mist. Can time itself ever stop? Not just for you, but for everything? Could the universe ever reach a moment where time ends? The end of time? Time feels eternal. But is it? From the Big Bang to black holes and beyond, scientists wonder, will time one day stop? What happens to clocks at the end of the universe? Could there be a final breath, not just for stars, but for time itself? Time began with everything, with light, with heat, with the birth cry of the cosmos. Before the Big Bang, there may have been no before, no clocks, no rhythm, no moments to count, just a mystery, and then a beginning. From that moment, time expanded. It grew with the universe, like fabric unfolding, like breath filling lungs for the first time. Galaxies spun into place, stars ignited and burned, planets circled, life appeared. All of it woven into time's quiet thread. And for billions of years, that thread has continued, through chaos, through silence, through every now. But does it have an end? Some scientists think, maybe. One theory whispers of the Big Freeze. The universe keeps expanding, stretching farther and colder. Galaxies drift apart until the sky is empty. Stars burn out. Black holes dissolve. Atoms fall still. Time doesn't stop all at once, but slows, spreads, thins into silence, until change itself disappears. And with no change, there is no time, only stillness. Another theory speaks of the Big Crunch. The universe expands, then collapses. Gravity pulls everything back inward, galaxies tumbling into a final embrace. Matter squeezed, light swallowed, time folded inward, and maybe another beginning, a loop, a rebirth, time not ending, but restarting, like breath, like sleep. And then there are black holes, strange places where physics bends. At their heart lies a singularity, a point where time breaks down. No clocks tick inside, no seconds pass. For something that falls in, there is no future, no next moment. It's as close to no time as we know. And yet, black holes still shape the universe. They tug on stars, sculpt galaxies, whisper of the mystery where time melts. Even on Earth, we imagine ends. We ask, will there be a last moment, the last memory, the last light? It's not fear, it's wonder, because endings help us feel the weight of now, the preciousness of this soft breath, this quiet thought, this moment shared, even in silence. But what is the end of time? It may not be a bang or a collapse. It might be a fading, a dimming of motion, of heat, of contrast, entropy, the tendency of all systems to drift toward disorder, leads, ultimately, to stillness, a universe without contrast, without difference, without events, and without events, time has nothing to measure. It isn't that time goes away, it's that nothing happens anymore to mark it, a candle that still exists, but no longer burns. But maybe time doesn't need to end for everything. Maybe it ends in some places and begins again in others. Maybe deep within black holes, new universes bloom, each with its own time, its own rhythm, its own beginning. Maybe every end is only an edge and not a wall. And even if the universe grows cold someday, and stars dim, and time softens into silence, you, here in this moment, are still warm, still beating, still moving through the golden liquid of now. And that's enough. The end of time, if it comes, will not come for you tonight, because you are not ending. You are resting. So breathe deeply. The universe will keep its questions, and you, wrapped in this quiet, are safe within them. You don't need to understand the end of time. You only need to feel this moment stretch, soft, safe, whole, like the final page of a lullaby. Because in truth, time may never end. Or maybe it already has. Or maybe it's only beginning. again and again each time you close your eyes. And that thought is enough to carry you into the deep, into sleep. So now, let time go. Let the stars turn without you. Let the clocks forget your name. You are drifting in a sea that never needed numbers. Only breath, only dreams, only peace. Good night, traveler. Sleep well.